And welcome to Etcetera with the Woodards. I'm your host for this evening, Craig Woodard Sr., and this is episode 55. Joining me tonight, my cousin is back in the house, Deontay Cooley. DC, what's happening, man?
What's going on, man? I'm good, man. I was good. I got probably something to drink, man.
It's all
Everything
good,
good, though, man.
man.
How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I want to start off the show by talking about what was our delay here. We were trying to pop on. I know you were trying to get something to eat real quick, and we were like, "Man, the Steelers game. What is going on?" So right at the end of the game, only seconds left. Jared Goff, they're in the red zone, fourth down. The Steelers are up by 5. Jared Goff drops back, passes the ball to St. Brown. He is short of the end zone when he catches the ball. Flags are thrown. The play didn't stop, but the players stopped playing. St. Brown laterals the ball to Jared Goff. Jared Goff runs crazy, jumps in the end zone. For 5 minutes, the refs try to figure out what is going on. And what happened was St. Brown committed an offensive pass interference. So there was a touchdown on the play, but it was negated because of the offensive pass interference. Game over. Steelers win by 5. They now go to 9-6 on the season, and we're waiting for the Ravens and Patriots to play tonight at 8:20. We are now 2 games up over the Ravens as the AFC North first place leaders right now. So, man, I know you're trying to catch up on that, man, and your boys play tomorrow night. But wow, that
Yeah,
was
that's just in the playoff. We good. We in.
yeah. You guys got 3 games left in the playoffs, man. Stay healthy and do what you do. You know what I mean?
I get that 1 seed.
Yeah, man, that's true. What a game! I mean, me and a lot of other Steeler fans were on edge for that one to see how that call went, man. But had to cover that. Hey, thanks for joining me tonight. I appreciate it, bro. I missed you on Friday. I know you had some birthday vittles to eat and cake and all that stuff on Friday, man. But episode 55. This is day 3. The journey to the conviction. We've talked a little bit. We have not talked on the podcast yet. I've been waiting for this Friday. What did Friday mean to you when you got the news of the arrest?
Yo, Friday was interesting. It was definitely an interesting day because honestly, it was like I had guys early in the morning, like, hey, this is what we heard, this is what we think is gonna happen, this is what it's gonna be. And I'm just like, I've been saying, like, for instance, since the beginning, like, I don't want to be sitting here and getting caught in those situations to where I'm acting like I'm playing lawyer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't want to, hey, let's wait for this information to go public, or,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And then, they say, like, well, the family know, because when people was telling me about it, like, yo, I'm like, does immediate family know? Like, do people know what's about to be going on? Because I heard that it might have been a press conference,
Yes.
It was like, yo, it's a press conference going on, and maybe we should go down there. And I'm like, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. At first, I'm like, okay, boom. I think that's it. But then I'm like, hold on, wait. So now, like, does everybody know what's going on? So, and I just wanted to, put that piece out there. So then when I found that out, it's like, wow. So then I think, who was the first person? A couple people called me. Like, I got like 4 or 5 phone calls, like, you called me, Jerry, Michael had called me, and then Shamel had called me. So, like, after I talked to everybody, I was saying the same thing. Like, listen, I don't know how true it is.
Yeah.
I seen a docket flying around, but
yeah,
I'm just going to wait for that information to get released by the news or from the district attorney to have her press conference or whatever it is that she going to do with it. Because I don't want to speak on nothing like that,
Yeah.
So, and as I hung up the phone, I seen something get released from Erie News Now.
Yep.
So I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
So I let Shamel know, like, yo, yeah,
it's true.
Go ahead. Yeah. That's real. Like, that's a real thing.
Yeah.
And, like, so at that moment, it was just kind of like, like, boom, like, thank you. Like, yeah, absolutely. This is exactly what, You know what I mean? People were talking about this is what we was looking for. This is what we was hoping would happen. So it was exciting news. It was great news. You know what I mean? It
Yeah.
was just like something happened, something's gonna happen, or at least it's the beginning to something.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's how when I very first heard the news and very first my fault. I was trying to make sure everything was good on my computer.
Yeah. You good?
But yeah, that was the first thing that came to my mind when I had found out about it.
It was surprising, but not. You know what I'm saying? It was one of them things where it happened on day 169. We have been waiting for something to happen. We had heard in the past that it might have been prior to Christmas, just from different sources, and when the buzz hit in the morning time, it really started to go around, and then it started really quickly. And the plan, I guess, was for the DA's office to have a press conference at 10 o'clock, and then they ended up canceling that because it leaked out. So, and all the family wasn't notified. Man, I had to call cousin Charles, and I wanted to see if he knew because Erie News Now had already went live on Facebook. So I knew it was public. I knew it was out, and so I called cousin Charles and I told him. At that point, I was kind of confused about the charge, the criminal homicide charge, and Jerry was able to really explain that how the H1 works as far as first degree, and I'm like, wow, we really got what we were hoping to get, and you and I have been at this thing for quite some time, man, doing the podcast and talking about facts and talking about scenarios and playing the devil's advocate. And I would assume that clearly the district attorney's office has enough evidence to prove the case based off of the charges that they rendered, right? I mean, you know, there's clearly information that we are not exposed to, that we have not heard, that we have not seen, and rightfully so. It's an investigation, and it's going to be a trial, But I mentioned the other day, I'm like, what if? Because we haven't talked about Aaron Osborne that much. We've brought him up a few times in the last few shows because he can't get off scot free. If he's an accomplice, what happens with him? They could still file charges on him. Um, is he getting immunity for maybe testifying for the prosecution? Possibly. I mean, that probably could also be on the table. We don't know what he said in his statement. We have no idea. But all these possibilities are possible, right?
I mean, I would think so. I mean, again, I'm not no attorney or nothing like
Yeah.
that. So, I mean, when you see, like, because what's interesting, there was a lot of stuff on social media where there's a lot of different people, sharing opinions, sharing thoughts, and sharing ideas. And
Yeah.
I believe that when it came to the point to where we pushing at the DA and we asking her to do her job, and you know what I mean, we're asking for everybody to do what they're supposed to do. We got her to the point to where, like she said, be patient.
Yeah.
And we were saying, yo, speak up, say something to us, deliver a message to us. And the first message that she delivered was when she had her press conference, because we was asking for a press conference.
Yeah.
The first message that she delivered was, we're pressing charges on the person who shot and killed Marcella
Yeah.
Woodard. We're gonna hold him. We're gonna, go file charges. We're gonna arrest him with no bond.
Yeah.
And these are the charges that we're gonna pursue him with.
Yeah.
I believe that at that moment, a lot of us need to take that in for a second.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think a lot of us need to take that in for a second, because a lot of people jump the gun, or a lot of people are jumping the gun. Like, my phone has been going crazy. I'm not an attorney, or I'm not a detective or nothing like that. I know that when it gets to the point to where we ask for a press conference, we ask for transparency, we ask for information, the first thing that this lady came out and said to us on the news
Yeah.
was, hey guys, I got a shooter. I got some charges I'm gonna file against him. I got a judge who agrees with these
Yeah.
charges I'm gonna file against him. They signed the warrant. I'm gonna arrest him. I'm gonna take him to jail.
Yeah.
Boom. So let's think about that for a second before we go any further than that.
Mm-hmm.
Because and the reason why I say that is just like again, I've had conversations with a lot of different people. I've seen a lot of different things, and it's a lot of feelings.
Yeah.
It's a lot of emotions. It's a lot of different opinions and all of that going on and being shared around. It's like what we don't want to do is get to the point to where we're getting back to the division in the community.
Correct. 100%.
I mean, that is the first thing that we want to make sure that we don't do is we don't want to get back into we dividing our community again because you think you know
Yeah.
better or they think they know better, and we ain't gonna get no justice for Cello because again, there was people who had a checklist of what justice for Cello looked like.
Yeah.
And a lot of people wanted an arrest.
Yeah.
A lot of people wanted a name. You know what I mean? So we got a name, we got an arrest. So we have some momentum.
Yep.
We have some things that we can work with, right? So now I think we need to be looking more at what's the upside of that?
Mm-hmm.
Before we start feeling like, okay, now we want more, lock somebody else up, or what about this guy? I don't want to put too much weight onto that now because now we have a suspect who is locked up in prison. You know what I mean? So now I'm looking at it like, okay, boom, you got the suspect locked up in prison. It's been 170 days since they got him, right?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe he got to fight from jail 170 days for whatever that case looks like. He has to fight against a district attorney and whatever her team comes up with his team and whatever they come up with. What our job is as a community and as a people is to keep making sure that when we talk about justice, we keep Cello's name alive, and then we also are able to identify what we want. We want to see change within our community.
Right.
Because I sat down and had a meeting the other day with the news anchor like Eva Mastromadio, and she said, "Do you think everybody's going to go away now?" You know what I mean? Do you think that all of the protesting and all of the conversation, do you think all of that's going to stop now that this man is arrested?
Mm-hmm.
And I told her no.
Right.
You know what I mean? This has created an opportunity for people to have conversations. Family has come together. Different people have communicated and connected. And what I don't want to do is see people tearing apart one another because of we getting back to the beginning stage of sharing opinions and playing lawyer and acting like we know what's what, to where now me and you are arguing because you saying manslaughter, I'm saying chair, and somebody else is saying let him walk. You know what I mean? And everybody throwing around their lawyer degrees or their legal degrees, and we all lost the concept of, or we all lost the idea of when we said we wanted justice for Cello, we wanted the person who shot the gun to be identified and arrested.
Right.
So I know that's a mouthful to your question, but I just wanted to make sure that we recognize and acknowledge the fact that the district attorney filed charges against Kevin Seelinger, who she identified as the man who shot and killed Marcello Woodard on parole. On July 2nd, 2025, and it was criminal homicide. It wasn't like a work-related homicide.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, homicides be having different names and labels to it. So me in my civilian mind, I'm not a legal attorney. I don't practice any legal anything. Me in my civilian mind, when I heard criminal homicide, I'm seeing it as he's being charged as an individual who committed a crime, and the crime that he committed was homicide amongst another person.
Yes.
With serious bodily injury. And then it was an assault charge. I mean, it was an
aggravated assault.
Aggravated assault, and then it was like a harassment charge. So like the harassment charge is what catches me though, because it's like, how can you harass somebody that's on parole unless
they know something that we don't know? There's more to the story.
No. It's not something that we don't know. How can you harass someone that's on parole unless they're not on parole? So when you think about the harassment charge,
you know what? I never put it together that way.
I'm not saying now.
We don't know if this is a fact. We don't know.
I don't know at all. But I'm saying when I seen those charges and people were saying like manslaughter, I'm like, yo, if you think about the way these charges are stacked and lined up, and you read them for what they are, and then you think about the situation in your own, I guess, way of thinking. I look at it like there's possibility for more to come into play as more now that he's arrested, and now they can actually begin, because she said they were investigating. The investigation now begins.
Absolutely.
Now they got to find the facts. So as more information comes, he might try to plead down or he might try to get out and she might come up with some stuff. I'm like, hold on,
Yeah.
wait. We're gonna take this up a
Yeah.
notch and we're gonna throw 10 more charges at you because maybe we've talked to some other people who've given us some more
Right.
information. So we don't want to make deals with you. So I don't want us in the community or on the outside to get too much into playing lawyer and attorney
Yeah.
to where we throw out because a lot of the stuff that people have been throwing out have been negative
Yeah.
and it has been divisive. So some of the opinions that we've been sharing or I've been seeing sharing is more or less like he gonna beat the charges, he gonna walk.
Yeah.
We did it wrong, we ruined the case, we disrupted the case, and when you people say stuff like that, it get to playing with people's feelings and emotions,
Right.
and we start talking at one another, and we forget that we just got a small victory to begin the next step of justice for Cello.
Correct.
You know what I mean? So I want everybody who's watching this or who will watch it to understand and realize that like we are back at the beginning, but we have to remain emotionally smart.
Yeah.
We have to remain strategic, and we have to understand that we can't become divided because we got one step.
Right.
We fought 170 days.
Mm-hmm.
They only gave us one thing.
Yeah.
Even if it was the district attorney just doing her job, and she was going to do it
Mm-hmm.
anyway, we've been screaming for 170 days for them to move in one.
Right. Right.
So the next 170 days might be even harder.
Mm-hmm.
We can't fall apart when we only got one thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so then I was even telling people, like, this is the blueprint. So if we want more, we just got to do everything that we did in this 170 backwards.
Absolutely.
Like, there's no need to go all the way to the beginning and start protesting and screaming in social media. And no, let's write some resolutions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let's go to some city council meetings and let's tell them
Mm-hmm.
what we want and let's ask them to vote on it.
Yep.
Let's have some town hall meetings. Let's reach out to different people. So I need people to understand and realize that, like, it's not easy to say. I mean, it's not going to be easy to do.
Right.
And you know, a lot of us have different opinions and thoughts of how things are happening.
Mm-hmm.
But anybody who said justice for Cello, or anybody who said we need this to hurry up or to happen or to go on, realize and understand that we got an arrest.
Mm-hmm.
We have a name. I'm waiting for a picture. I seen a picture that was being shared. It looks like AI to me.
It is.
I don't play with the AI
It's
stuff.
been confirmed that that was AI.
But outside of that, like,
Mm-hmm.
if we can't get a picture because for whatever reasons, I even understand that the workings of union.
Mm-hmm.
But let's take the small dub and let's realize that we as a community need to come together on this dub and not fall apart. So that's how I took from it.
Mm-hmm.
As far as all of the stuff going on and then all of the responses and the feedback. But when it comes to Aaron Osborne, like, I don't want to dive into that and intimidate and or make that man afraid of anything if he could potentially be the person
Mm-hmm.
that can help us get the justice in this one specific situation for Cello. So I wouldn't encourage anybody to put his picture on blast, and I wouldn't encourage anybody to be like, oh, he's an accomplice to this until the district attorney said that, because she showed us a little bit when she asked for some patience the first time. So she showed us what she'd give us. You know what I mean? She will give us an arrest. So if we start barking at this dude and he might be the key witness to help us, we could potentially intimidate him. And when you realize the message from the Fraternal Order of Police,
Yeah.
which is very strategic, they might be waiting on us to say something to intimidate anything or anybody that has something that's going on with this.
Right.
So we're at a point in time to where, like, those of us who got so involved and those of us who made so much noise and those of us who acted like we were so down with everything, realize and understand that we need to stand strong, we need to stay together, and we can't fall apart again. We can't be divided again. And we need more people who now see the results of our work to join the things that we are doing. And we need to be open to receiving those people who want to join us and open and connect and build with us, because it's only going to get bigger. It's only going to make more noise. It's only going to be larger, like, especially with the arrest. Like, more people are going to pay attention to it, and like we said, national is going to be a larger deal than what we actually realized it was going to be.
Right.
So we need to separate our feelings from any problems that happened prior to, and let's continue to push forward and realize that we got a small dub.
I agree. You know, you mentioned something I want to kind of circle back to. You know, when you were being interviewed by Erie News Now, for a news reporter strategically to ask a question of, um, are you guys going to kind of calm down now based off of what the energy has been over the last 169 days? And you said no. When you have a question like that, is that something that, because I'll be the first one to say, because so many things have gone through my mind with this decision. Um, did we get that just so that they could tell us to shut up? Because the arrest is not the end all be all for us. That's not the justice for us. That's a part of it, but it's not the full thing. We want him to be held accountable for what he did. We want him to be convicted and to spend the appropriate time that due process is going to give him, right? And so to hear you say that just triggered one of my thoughts, one of my many thoughts that I had, that is this what some people think out there, that okay, they got an arrest, now they'll go away. I mean, and you answered it perfectly. No, we're not, and we need to do more when it comes down to the city council and the county council meetings and stuff like that. That question to you that triggered a thought in my mind. I can guarantee there's a lot of other people out there that think how that question played out, right?
I mean, I think honestly, it's probably sad to say, but that was a legit question to ask because
Mm-hmm.
historically, you know what I mean? What do we really want? Like, can
Yeah.
people say what they want? Like, when we say justice for Cello and the man got arrested, it's like, excuse me, I'm choking on something. Now it's like, okay, is everybody gonna go home now? Like,
Right.
because when you ask or when anybody asks, like, to define justice, like, now that man's in custody, and so we feel like, okay, does everybody go home and just let the system do its thing and time play its course?
Right.
Like, that's not the thought process for me, but that's a
Mm-hmm.
legit question because I think that is people who are saying it because it's the right thing to say, but then outside of that, it's like, okay, now what? You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Now what do we do? So I
Right.
think for her end to ask that question, it was a legit question, but
Mm-hmm.
then it also gives us the opportunity to make people understand that we are educated and we know how to answer questions like that, and we know what we want when we asking for the things that we're asking for.
Right. Right.
So when we talk about having change, being able to define the changes that we're looking for.
And that's the other thing, just to kind of echo your comments as well, is that the energy at the city council and county council meetings will continue because we haven't fully gotten justice for Cello. So we still are in this marathon, just on the second leg, of this race, man, and it's gonna take some time. And a thorough trial is obviously what we want. Do you feel though, because you know we have so many people out there that um, do things, um, they get arrested for it, they get charged, and their mugshots and their perp walks, the videos of them in handcuffs, in the orange suits, they're everywhere on the news. And when I used to work for the news, that was one of the things you used to set at a certain place in order to get the perpetrator to come out. They called it the perp walk, so you had video, and that video ran over and over and over throughout the trial, and that was the image that you had. Do you think the fact that the news was unable to um, receive any video of Kevin Seelinger when he was arrested? Now I know he turned himself in, but that was probably strategy as well. But no mugshot has been released to the media at all, and I've been checking on this. Do you think that they are trying to protect his image through this process as well?
I absolutely think they're trying to protect his image throughout this process because, again, this is the second time this has happened in the United States of America. The first time somebody's been convicted of it.
Mm-hmm.
So no matter whatever jail he goes to, his face is going to be recognizable. Now, I'm not saying I agree with it.
Charged of it, not convicted yet.
Right,
charged him.
right.
Yep.
So I understand. I don't agree with it, but I understand it because we, the people in the public, we should be able to see, who we're looking at and
Yeah.
who are the people who have done these things. So yeah, and then if it was me,
Yeah.
if it was anybody other than him, again, this is the first time this has ever happened. Like,
Yeah.
and the first time anybody has ever been charged with. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
like, are we supposed to post it? So I think it's more or less like they're making sure everybody's covering their tracks. I
Mm-hmm.
don't agree with it at all. I can understand why things are happening the way that they are happening.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I want to see his face. I wanted to see that perk
Yeah.
walk too. I want to know for a fact. Like, I don't listen. You believe? What'd you say? Believe none of what you hear, half of what you see. Like,
That's right. That's
I've
right.
heard people say he was in jail. These
Yeah.
are people who have no reason to lie to me. These are people who are closely related to. They said he's in jail. They said they're not going to release any information.
Right.
They didn't say that they seen him walk in jail. I haven't seen him walk in jail, and then I know, based on history, when people are incarcerated, like you have access to at least their names. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Right.
So I'm not sure if it's again when we talked about violating civil rights.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't want to make it about anybody other than Cello. When you talk about certain things,
Right.
but then I also feel like we also need to educate ourselves on what type of information we are allowed to have as the public. You know what
True.
I mean? Like you can't just withhold because they're like, oh well, the immediate family got the information or whatever. And I think the way the information, in my opinion, the way the information got leaked was the charges were filed and it
Mm-hmm.
went into the PA filing system,
Mm-hmm.
and people might check that every day. There are probably
Absolutely.
people who are praying every single day and saying, you know what, when I wake up, the first thing I'm gonna do is check this page
Yep.
and put this man's name in here. And somebody might have checked that page and seen his name and was like, oh my God, and
Yes.
shared it with anybody else. So I
Absolutely.
don't think it was like leaked in the sense of, oh, somebody tried to disrupt the case.
Right.
But
It got out there,
yeah,
and
yeah.
rightfully so. I mean, people have been waiting, and so yeah, there's a lot of people, like you said, that they they're tuned in to checking up on things. You know what I mean? And it is what it is. But those same people that are in tuned in checking up on things cannot find a mugshot in the system either. And I think that is important to take note on, because for 169 days they never said his name. They never said his name until Friday. Friday they said his name, but they didn't show us who he was. And I know you had a post on there and you said, "I'll believe it when I see it." You know what I mean? And we know that it is what it is, but that's a feeling that you have, that he should be uh, exposed publicly, visually, just like everybody else. It's the same rights that everybody else has, but they're protecting him. So, again, when we go back to the charges as far as being criminal homicide, where it doesn't seem like the charge is a protection for an employee of the state, a law enforcement body, but yet we can't see his images. That's strategic on their part. I would assume as well. And here's the other thing too. My phone Friday was blowing up just like yours. And here I'm at work, and every 10 seconds my phone's just blowing up, blowing up, blowing up. Um, we hear late Friday that they relocated him to Lawrence County, but then there's a number of other people that said that he's still in Erie. So I don't really know what to believe or where he actually is, because we can't find him. Like, is that one of the things that you heard, that he was relocated to Lawrence County as well?
So yeah, a couple different people sent me some things,
Okay.
but I have only thing that I have not heard is he's out of jail. You know what I mean?
Correct.
So
Yeah.
he
Which,
went on and said he's, in jail, no bond. So we know what that means when you're in jail with no bond. I would love to see his face. I would love
yeah,
to see
man.
his mugshot. I understand the severity of the case. I understand why whoever he fought with
Yeah.
probably agreed with, and they probably That's probably why he turned himself in. Again, you got to realize it took how many days before he turned himself in.
Right.
So I'm pretty sure he had his attorneys together and all of that, and they probably struck a deal on, hey, when these charges drop, I'll go in peacefully. These are our conditions. Can you meet us somewhere?
Mm-hmm.
So we not gonna sit here and act like we didn't see a picture of them hanging out on the podcast together. Regardless, it's still her job.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it could have been of, hey, listen, man, it's time, bro. Like, we're gonna take you in. Like, you need to go to the police station on this day.
Yeah.
Let them throw you in the back of the car. We're gonna get you in. Boom, boom, boom. By the time I get to the news, you're gonna be processing in the tank. Like, you
Yeah.
going to jail today. Like,
Yeah.
it's only so long. So,
Yeah.
we gotta consider that. You know what I mean? So I would love to see the man picture. I would love to see the perk walk. I have heard people say, because I checked, seeing he was on the Erie thing, and then I checked again, his name was no longer on there.
Yeah.
There's
Okay.
people who checked up the docket sheet and it was up there, and then it wasn't up there. So I did hear he got moved around, and then I also heard, I read some comments. Etcetera said what she said, like he in jail, he ain't coming out. The district attorney ain't talking no more. I seen
Right.
you say something about they might even change his identity for his safety. So when I saw them two say that, I'm like, okay, boom, man. As far as I know, that's what it is. That's what it's going to be. But
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see his picture, but I'm not going to apply that no pressure to it because I don't want to do anything or say anything that could potentially disrupt anything. I believe that we should have had the opportunity to see him be treated in the same manner that any one of us have been treated.
Correct.
And I'm pretty sure his union president or rep and the attorneys that are representing him probably figure some type of deal that they can strike up in order for that to not happen for his own safety because realize he was also a corrections officer and a parole
Right.
agent. So he
Yeah.
wasn't just a cop to where only a few people he locked up in jail know him. He
Yeah.
was a CO in jail to where everybody who went through Albion knew him.
That's right.
Essentially.
Yeah. He definitely is a little bit more well known than a regular police officer out there, especially with the amount of years that he has under his belt dealing with both probation and being a CO. Um, I think two main things that obviously we can't control, but we can talk about is change of venue and jury selection. Um, how important would it be for his side to have a change of venue um, into another county, or would it benefit him based on the the demographic? I mean, we saw how many people were contributing to his GoFundMe at the beginning. You got a GoFundMe before charges was even filed. Would he feel more comfortable staying in Erie? I don't know if that's one of the strategies that the defense would play, but how important do you feel that change of venue is either way for him?
Honestly, if I'm being 100% honest and biased, I don't think this matters where the video is. Like,
Mm-hmm.
if you look at the video
Mm-hmm.
and then you look at all of the information and like I have not had any emotions attached to this situation outside of the people who I felt shit been speaking louder. But
Yeah.
when you look at the situation
Mm-hmm.
and the evidence,
Yeah.
I don't believe that it would take much. I'm no attorney,
Mm-hmm.
but all right, 2 weeks away from parole, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Potentially, and then possibly 6 months hit.
Right.
His arrest history, never violent, killed by your parole agent, whose job is, again, let's not forget all of the facts that we brought up in the beginning of this as well.
Yep.
Like, Cello has not have a history of violence. He does
Right.
not have a history of guns. Cello
Mm-hmm.
does not have a history of getting in trouble, getting in crimes. He ain't got no history of telling and trying to get out of jail. He's
Mm-hmm.
been in jail. He served his time, got out of jail, whatever he had to do. So when you get out of jail and you've been out of jail for quite some time, you're supposed to have a relationship with your parole officer.
Yeah.
Your parole officer, when you're about to max out in 2 weeks, he should know before coming to talk to you if you're this type of person or not. So I
Mm-hmm.
think those would be questions that would be asked, like, what would make you think that you would ever have to do this to him when he's 2 weeks away?
Right.
So when you talk about the venue change, or you talk about the jury, I think that you would have to have 12 of the coldest, hardest people in the deepest mountains of West Virginia to be like, I could see why he would do that. It was fear for his life. If you brought together the entire story, so I think the most
Right.
important thing is for the district attorney to be able to sell the story that we're
Yeah.
saying when we talk about Cello's character, when we talk about the type of person that he was and the impact he has on the community, when we talk about his history of even incarceration and like, all right, what's his misconduct history look like? Like, how what
Hmm.
type of issues has he given to any corrections officers? And then has he ever had a run in with Seelinger while he was in there? Like all of
Hmm.
that stuff will come into play, and I feel like if it's presented correctly,
Yeah.
I don't think it matters where it happens at. I mean, I could be wrong, but again, if it's not like we would have a lot of our peers on the jury because, like Jerry was saying the other day, a
Yeah.
lot of us don't register to vote. So
Yeah.
if we ain't registering to vote, and if they say, okay, we're gonna do this joint right in the Erie County, you know, we're gonna do it
Yeah.
right in Erie County Courthouse. Like
Right.
it wouldn't be a lot of his friends who would be able to be like, I get to be a juror for that. I mean, they would cancel him out, but
Yeah.
you know what I mean. But when you think about everything that you see, and then even the people who have joined the fight and the argument and the conversation,
Right.
who've never met Cello, who've never been to Erie, and they're
Hmm.
just like, yo, I'm just watching this and it is wrong.
Right.
Like even the defense of it, like there's not been any slander of specifically Cello to say why he deserves to be that, other
Right.
than the ignorant rhetoric of black people deserve a chance, don't
Yeah.
deserve a chance. Like
Yeah.
ain't nobody been like, oh, I remember that time when Cello shot this, or I remember that time when Cello did this, or we was in jail and he robbed me, or he hurt those kids, or Cello did that. Like nobody's bad mouthing him. So
Right.
when you talk about jury, I don't know. Like it would just literally just have to, and then hopefully a district attorney, when it comes to jury selection, wouldn't pick the people who I think like it would take a jury of people who we all judge by appearance, and we'll be like, yo, we don't stand a chance with those people.
Yeah. I think um, hmm, you know, when we started this thing, and I'm saying we as a community, we were very strategic in making sure that this was not a black white thing, right? That this was uh, what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong, and this is wrong thing, and that's how we've been approaching this whole entire thing for the entirety. Had our approach been different, I don't think we would have had as many of the backing of a lot of our white friends that we actually have right now. So, having said that, when you're doing a jury selection, say it's here, we all know that the minority population in Erie is very minimal. What is it, 9, 10, 11% or something like that? It's very, very small. Um, it's not just black people that are fighting for justice for Cello. So this is one of them things where, as a jury uh, that you're selecting, you can't just visually look at somebody and say, "Well, they're black. Let me get them off the jury," or "They're white. Let me keep them on the jury," because you may be keeping some people on there that believe what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong, right?
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that, and that's why, like, yeah, I don't want to put too much emphasis on all of that because
Yeah.
then again, and I'm glad that Jerry was saying what he was saying last night because when we talk about being tried amongst a jury amongst our peers,
Yeah.
we have to be registered to vote. So people, oh, registering to vote don't matter until your cousin go to trial where there's somebody you need somebody to advocate for you, and you look at the jury and you don't
Hmm.
see nobody who you've ever seen in a grocery store up there. You don't
Right.
see nobody who you ever went to school with up there because you don't get to be amongst your peers. So yeah, man, we just first we're gonna give it to God and make sure
Yeah.
that it goes the way it's supposed to go. But I truly believe that any jury, if if our district attorney can't approve, if she can't prove this in court,
Hmm.
then she definitely don't need to be there.
Yeah.
And now that Kevin Seelinger is in jail, now we can let her take her time. You know what I
Yes.
mean? She can dot her eyes.
Yep.
Because there's no bail.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no
That's true.
bail. So you know what? Thank
Take your
you.
time. Take your
Take
time.
your time,
That's
man.
right. That's
And
right.
do all the time. Take all ask the questions that you need to ask and go out there and do the ballistics and send the reports back and forth. And when their
Mm-hmm.
attorneys send their motions, let's let the Sealingers fight to get him out of jail. And let's let them fight for justice, and let's fall back and let her do her job. And if this man got to sit in jail for 200 days, or give him 340, we said we screened for 170 days and got him.
Yeah.
So if he got to fight from jail for 340 days, then
It is
hey,
what it is.
let him fight from jail. Like, we're cool,
Yeah.
guys. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna be patient with the district attorney.
Yeah.
We're gonna let her do her investigation, and we're
Mm-hmm.
gonna allow her to figure out every single thing that she needs to figure out. Because what we've been told is Kevin Sealinger has been incarcerated for the death of Marcello Woodard for those
Mm-hmm.
charges that have been filed, and he does not have a bond.
That's
So
right.
until there is any hearings outside of that, which should be public record, we're gonna be patient. We're gonna chill. We're gonna relax on her. We only gonna relax on her,
Yeah.
not everybody else. But we're gonna let that lady do her job because she needs some time. She got to think. She got some figuring out to do. So
Yeah.
let Kevin sit still while the DA does some figuring out.
Finally, I understand what some of those naysayers were saying when they said be patient. I think I'm going to take their advice now and be patient. They were right. Let's be patient and take as much time as needed in order for them to make uh, this decision correct on step number two. No rush on our part as far as the DA is concerned now. Um, we'll sit back and continue to put pressure in other ways, in other areas, especially the area of change. Um, you know, Jerry hit it on the head on Friday night, and like you just said when we were talking about a jury of our peers, and we were talking about, I brought up the example of Emmett Till years ago, from Chicago down in Mississippi, and he gets murdered, and he has an all white jury, and they're acquitted, and the control of voting rights back in the day, and how a lot of our ancestors fought for voting rights, and you and I had a couple of major pushes for a couple of weeks prior to the election this year to get people registered, and I know we had an impact on some people. My question to you, and I don't know if you know this or not, because they're not at that stage yet, but people can still register to vote. Um, if they register to vote now, will those people still be in the pool of possibly getting selected for jury duty? Is that still a possibility if you're a new registrant? Is there any rules behind that, time frames or anything?
No, once you register to vote, you register to vote.
Okay.
Yeah, register to vote. Like,
Okay.
there's no caveat to that. There's no, we registering to vote so we can meet. No, register to vote. It is your
Yeah.
God given duty. You're register to vote. Like, register to vote,
Yeah.
be on jury duty,
Yeah.
run for office.
Yeah.
You can vote. You know what I mean? Like, you can have a difference. Like, one vote matters. Like, again, 525 votes got me out, and I guarantee you, I know 525 people. I talked
Absolutely.
to so many people, and I probably know 525 people who didn't vote for me. But
Yeah. Yeah.
register to vote,
Yep.
then just know that what happens after that, you can vote and get people in, push office. I don't think it's anybody. If you registering to vote right now, you're not going to be on jury duty for this case specifically. And I
Mm-hmm.
don't want anybody who is I don't want anybody who's overly ambitious or advantageous. That's the word I'm looking for. I don't
Mm-hmm.
want anybody who's now all of a sudden feeling like they want to get registered to vote so they can be on jury duty if they
Mm-hmm.
want to be on it specifically for this case, because that means the motivation is wrong.
Gotcha.
And
Gotcha.
what we don't want is for somebody to be overly excited to try to get justice to the point to where legally and technically they can disrupt the case because of a technicality, because we all know the law is tricky.
Right. We talked about this a number of episodes ago, and it didn't apply. it did not apply to what the um, what is the term I'm looking for? It did not apply for what they were looking for right at the moment. And what I'm getting at is, I'm like, what about his past as an employee or as a correction officer? Did that have anything to do? They're looking at the facts of what happened that night. So how he was in the past had nothing to do with whether or not he was charged or not. Now, I think a lot of that stuff would come into play with um, the type of person that he is, the character that he brings to the table, who we're actually dealing with. Yes, he's charged for this, but let me explain to you what this person is all about. And they bring in a lot of the things in the past, which could mean a lot of people would be witnesses, subpoenaed to testify that had past experiences dealing with him. I think that that part is extremely important. That um, clearly they are going to try to, which they already tried to, assassinate Cello's character. But you just broke it down earlier, the type of person Cello was. You know what I mean? So there's not that much that they're going to find on him that we as a people don't know already. And we kind of talked about that, you and I, at the beginning. I said, let me talk about my cousin's character so that no one else in the public is going to try to trash him, right? But we haven't uh, dug into, or they haven't dug into, um, Kevin's past and Kevin's background. Um, do you think that that can have a major influence on his character based off of what occurs in trial?
I absolutely do think so. I think that the district attorney will try to have to prove some points about him.
Yeah. Hmm.
You know what I mean? To they try to build up a motive, I guess is what we're gonna call it.
Yeah.
I think that anybody who she reaches out to should cooperate with her. And I
Hmm.
believe that anybody who she asks about his character should have that conversation. And I also think in the process of us doing that, and in the meantime of us waiting for that, we need to be
Hmm.
speaking very highly of Cello. We need to be publicly speaking highly of his character and speaking highly of the type of man that he is and the man that he was and the legacy that he leaves behind, because they're also going to be looking into his character. So as we as a community
Yeah.
who have a relationship with Marcello, we need to be speaking highly of him. We
Hmm.
those who are witnesses in this situation need to be having conversation with the district attorney, and they need to be very thorough with the things that they're saying. If that means take your time to gather your thoughts, take your time to gather your thoughts. Don't rush your statement. You know what I mean? Kevin ain't going nowhere. You know
Right.
what I mean? He gonna sit tight. So if she want to schedule a meeting with you,
Hmm.
we don't have to rush for a sentence and a conviction and all of that. Now he's in it nice. We know where he's
Cozy
at.
place.
Right. We
Hmm.
know where he's at. He's safe.
Yep. Yep.
They're gonna make sure he's okay in there. He's not gonna be working anymore. He's not making any money. So
That's right. Yeah.
as a district attorney is doing their investigation and she's reaching out to people, I think every witness who she wants to talk to should have a conversation with her. Yes.
Absolutely. Yep.
Please have a conversation with her.
Yeah.
Us as the people in the community, as we're talking about Marcello and as we're mentioning his name, we need to be making sure that we're speaking highly of him, and
Hmm.
we're making people know what type of character he has, because they're also going to try to build a case against his character. So
Correct.
we as a community need to remember and understand that the district attorney has a job to do with
Hmm.
investigating the case, and Kevin is in jail. He's safe and sound in there, so we don't have to come after her. Our
Right.
job now is as a community is to build our strength within ourselves. It is to speak highly of Cello's name. It is us
Hmm.
to identify the problems that we see within the community so we can build and expand on those, and to continue to apply the pressure in the areas that change is going to happen for us. We don't have to bother her. But
Right.
again, justice for Cello is bigger than the rest, and we don't have to attack two individuals to let people know that we in our community want change,
Hmm.
and we need to come together so that we can describe and spell what change looks like to us. So when people come and they say, hey, you know what? You guys said y'all want change. Well, here, we're going to give you $20 million. Like, who do we
Yeah.
give it to? We as a community don't know who we would give it $20 million to. Or if they were
Right.
to say, hey, we're going to give you guys 100 acres up Peach Street. You guys can build them all. We don't know what's the hierarchy of our structure of the inner city, and I don't even mean black thing. So we
Mm-hmm.
need to start figuring out that and coming together and being strong and being solid. So when the opportunities come, we're ready. So
Yeah.
when the justice comes, we're ready. So
Yeah.
when the questions of character comes, we can say, no, we solid and we good and we've repaired all of those relationships. So what we have to do is make sure that we stand strong as a community and we build up and we let her do her job and do her process and take her time.
Mm-hmm.
So then that way she can do what's best on behalf of us, the people, for the county of Erie. And we're not going to interfere and disrupt that. But we as a community need to continue to speak highly of Cello and continue to build, connect, and repair our relationship.
I want to circle back. Not only did you talk about it earlier today, but you mentioned this when Jerry and I were on live on Friday in the comments, and I saw what you said, and it took a little while to sink in. It was actually after the show when it really started to make sense for me. And you were spot on, and I wish I caught it at the time because we could have talked about it at the time. But you said that, and I don't want to quote you, but you said that Aaron Osborne might be our like closest ally or closest friend. Um, I want you to expand on that a little bit because I'm looking at that. I'm like, you know what? You're 100% right. Number one, this dude don't want to go to jail. He doesn't want to spend his life in jail. He has a family. He doesn't want to leave his family. If he knows the truth, like you gotta okay, I got my family on this side, and I got this dude that I worked with that shot and killed somebody on this side. Do I want to leave this side to support this side when I know he was wrong? No, I want to tell the truth. I got something to say. He may be our biggest ally because we don't know what his statement was and we don't know where he's coming from now. So we don't want to go on here and bash Aaron Osborne
No, we don't. No,
because
we
he
don't.
could be our biggest ally,
He
right?
absolutely could be. This is what I will say when I said that in the comment section.
Yeah.
And this is all assumption and
Hmm.
speculation.
Absolutely.
But those guys are parole agents.
Yeah.
They're not police officers. So the
Right.
brotherhood of police and the brotherhood of parole is not the same, right?
Slightly different.
Right. So then what I will say is like I wanted to be a parole officer when I was trying to get out of jail, when I was trying to get out of the prison. There are
Hmm.
parole officers and parole agents who legitimately care.
Yeah.
I mean, there are people who, hey, this is what you need to do.
Yeah.
When it was bus tokens, I know some people who was giving bus tokens. It was people who like Vanessa Booker, like people who school with Vanessa Booker.
Hmm.
Um, Jim Blint. I know a lot of people like Jim Blint. I remember James Place. Like a lot of people like him too. So there
Hmm.
were parole agents who legitimately worked because they cared to help people. They wanted to help with the, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then there are parole agents who couldn't be police officers. So now we got to think about it like this, right?
Hmm.
I'm a parole agent running with my partner who is yippee ki gung ho. And who's to say that they're partners because they might not go, they have caseloads.
Yeah.
So we don't always have to go manage our caseloads together. That might have been a night he got paired up. Again, I don't know their relationship. We don't.
Hmm.
But you the last person with this dude before this happens. So you know everything that took place, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you probably like, oh my God, what do I do? What am I supposed to do? And
Yeah.
as all they're doing all this investigating, I'm pretty sure his wife, or if he has a wife, his
Hmm.
parents have talked to him like, yo, what happened? And he probably like, yo, I can't say nothing.
Yeah.
Like, yo, you can go to jail for a very long time if. And again, this ain't no street code, no don't snitch.
Right.
They aren't like, and I don't know if they're from the same branch of the military, but
Okay.
these ain't two dudes that's like, yo, we jarheads and we didn't got kidnapped and we
Yeah. Yeah.
willing to
Yeah.
get our tongues cut out about this. Like, no,
Right.
this is a man who was doing his job. One of them who could have hated their job, and the other one who could have loved it. And
Yeah.
did it for all the right reasons, and just like, yo, you just killed somebody. Like,
Right. Right.
and I'm not okay with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I say all that just trying to be like optimistic about it and
Yeah.
understand that, yeah, Aaron Osborne might be our biggest ally, and we don't need to be rattling his feathers, or
Yeah,
if he
yeah,
is a witness, we don't need to be what do they call intimidating a witness or nothing
yeah.
like that, because he could be the dude to be like, yo, he might be telling district attorney like, you tell me when you want to talk, what you want to know. I want to go home to my family, my
Yep,
kids.
yep,
I want to work my job still. Like, this was wrong. I don't agree with it. And
yep.
again, this is just giving the benefit of the doubt, because if we look at it on the flip side, he was there, and if she wanted to charge him as an accomplice, I'm pretty sure if she had that type of evidence and information,
Yeah,
she would have. I'm pretty sure she may have had some type of conversation with him to see how she could check his temperature, to feel him out, to be like, am I charging him, or am I going to be able to use him as an ally? Because a
correct.
parole agent fraternity and a parole agent's relationship are
Hmm.
not as strong as police, or not as strong as military. So it might be a possibility to where these dudes, I mean, Aaron Osborne might be the dude that can really,
Help us.
like, hey, I'm sorry, Kevin, but
Yeah, he's looking
I'm
out for
not doing it.
himself.
Yeah,
Yeah, looking out for himself, and by looking out for himself, he's telling the truth. And if the truth shall set you free, then so be it. You know what I
yeah,
mean? So yeah, so we got to make sure that we walk lightly, uh, where we don't have any effect there that could potentially jeopardize the case. So very important to talk about that. Also, I don't know the correct procedure in Erie about this, and maybe with a little bit of your background, you may know. So he was arrested Friday. Isn't there an arraignment that has to happen? He was arrested on the weekend on Friday. He would be in front of a judge by tomorrow, maybe. Uh,
possibly,
okay,
possibly.
is that the
So
next
yeah, he
step?
might go in front of the judge tomorrow. He'd be in court. Maybe
Okay.
have an arraignment hearing tomorrow to see, how do you plead, what's your plea, guilty, not guilty, and then everything starts, because he turned himself in on the charges that was filed against him.
Yeah.
The judge signed a warrant, so they would give him time to get a lawyer, get an attorney, and all of that. So typical stuff. Go to jail over the weekend. You ain't about to. Then you ain't got no bond. You gotta
Mm-hmm.
wait for the judge to see you. So he might not even see the judge on Monday. I
True.
mean, if they
True.
want to try to rush it and push it through, then yeah, of course.
Mhm.
But yeah, he don't gotta see the judge on Monday.
I don't know. We don't we don't know him. We don't know what his thought process is. We haven't heard from his attorney. I'm just throwing this out there because this is a possibility as well, right? Um, what if at the arraignment he uh, files guilty?
Then they will have a sentencing.
So no trial. They have
No
the
trial.
sentencing, and then without the trial, is it the judge that would determine how long he would get?
I mean, I guess at the now this right here, this stuff,
Yeah.
I have no idea what I'm
Okay.
talking about. So this is all assumption. There might be some
Yeah.
people in the comment section who can answer this.
Yeah.
I believe if he were to plead for guilty, it would be up to them to accept the guilty plea, and they would probably want like some type of statement or something. So then that way they can deliberate the time.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Because it ain't just gonna be no, okay, I'm pleading guilty, give me some time. Like, nah, the judge gonna probably want to know why you did this, so they can
Yeah.
figure out where do they
Yeah.
rate you on the scale. Like, you don't get to just come here and say, yeah, I did it, lock me up.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't think that any person would do that, but that
Yeah.
is huge assumption.
Yeah.
I have no clue. That is not any legal advice. I'm not an attorney. I don't even play one on TV. So I don't want to get too deep into the legal talks, and then people get to quoting me or feel like I'm misrepresenting information. I'm really not too versed in that.
Yeah. Just wondering because I'm like, well, I think he has an arraignment, so he has to see a judge. I think that's due process. But what if he files guilty? I mean, what there's steps after that too. You know what I mean? I would assume because it's been so long. This is an assumption though, but I would assume that he files not guilty, and then we go through the process of the trial. There's no bail. He's still in jail, and 9 months to a year, the trial begins. But I wondered that. I just wondered that because um, number one, he has not seen been in front of the judge yet. I don't know in Erie if they allow uh, cameras in the courtroom. Do they? Media wise, do you know?
Press.
Okay, so
But
press
yeah,
is allowed
we got to put your phone in the case when you go into the courthouse.
as a civilian.
Yeah, as a civilian, you got to
Press
press
is
that so you
allowed.
can take your phone in there. Yeah.
So they'll get their image. We'll see an image then. Um, just like we've always have. It's just part of a protection, I guess, for him for right now from the original arrest and mugshot. But um, yeah, this is something else, man. We're in a position. Um, I wanna say this uh, clearly. I was gonna say we're in a position that we want to be, but I want to preface that with um, we're not in a position we want to be because Cello is not with us, and we want Cello with us, and that is not going to happen because of who was charged on Friday. Okay, that is what justice for Cello would look like for me is that he was still here. That's number one. But we know that that is not the case right now. So we have to look at the next best thing, and um, you know, my list that I had prior to what justice for Cello looked like for me was termination, indictment, arrest, conviction, and then change. It's safe to say that the first three are taken care of. We're at arrest right now. We're looking at conviction and um, change at this point, and we have a long way to go. I have reset the counter. We're on day three of the journey to a conviction, and we're going to continue to discuss all of this stuff going forward, along with new stuff that we're going to bring in, new chains that we're going to explore. What does this do to? So here's another question, DC. So at the time we were talking about the trip to Harrisburg, we were talking about the trip to Harrisburg before the charges. Now the charges are there. I mean, I still think that the trip to Harrisburg has to be a must because we were planning on bringing the resolution to Harrisburg. Is that correct?
Absolutely, the trip to Harrisburg is a must, and this is
Okay.
not again like because the governor still hasn't responded.
Correct.
I mean, I'm not sure if anybody's seen anything on social media from Governor Shapiro. He was talking about the Seawolves when they got renamed, and
Yeah.
it's a lot of people from Erie who the state reps and all of that. I'm not sure if they said anything either,
Hmm.
as far as like Justice for Cello or shared that information. But
Right.
again, when we talk about change, there are a lot of different things that happen and take place in Erie that like things we are undeserving of having and happening to us, and we need to continue to work together to raise the awareness and recognition. So I've always said, Justice for Cello for me was bigger than just an arrest.
Yeah.
And when you get people who are able to speak up and demand change and advocate for other people, we have to start to realize that things happen the way that they happen in our communities for a reason, and we need to continue to ask questions, and we need to continue to advocate and support one another and ask for those resources that are available to us
Hmm.
to make it better. So I don't think that this is a one and done thing. When
Yeah.
we talk about justice for Cello, this is an opportunity for everybody to educate themselves on what the expectations are supposed to be of them in their own communities.
Yeah. We have completed both the county council meetings for the year and the Erie City Council meetings for the year. We have discussed, um, Andre Horton um, no longer being in one of the seats for the Erie County Council after 12 years. He put in his time. He will be on the City Council. Mel Witherspoon will be done as president. You know, we didn't get a chance to kind of discuss a lot of the videos that played. I know you texted me from down there, man, and I looked at all of the speeches, and a lot of people had some really good points to bring up. It was a very strategic attack, attack in a good way. Um, and you said some really good things about Spoon up there. You care to elaborate on going back to Wednesday night for a little bit?
I mean, I think overall, everybody, like when we all came down there and we spoke,
Yeah,
like it was the last meeting of the year.
yeah,
Mayor Joe Schimber, so that was going to be his last meeting because he'll be done.
hmm,
Chuck Nelson, he'll be done, and also Mr. Mel Witherspoon, they'll be done. So it's more or less like, how do we, not how, we need to go in here and make sure that we don't only allow these last 5 months to be these individuals' whole story.
right,
You know what I mean? Like we can't allow their runs or those their servers be torn apart by our pain of the last 5 months.
yeah,
So I thought it was important for me to recognize and acknowledge Mr. Mel Witherspoon for his years of show. I don't even know how long he's been up there for. It just seems like he's been there as long as I've been
forever,
alive.
man.
You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah,
So when you think about something like that, and you think about the name of someone who's serving your community,
hmm,
you can't let 5 months of heartaches and 5 months of anger and heart or 5 months of disagreement and come out and to try to tear somebody's legacy down or tear it up, especially when those type of people are accessible for individual conversations.
correct.
So I wanted to make sure that I recognize and acknowledge the fact that I appreciated him standing tall, him being there, him being the man that he has done, and then
Hmm,
also just being a human being. And not nobody ever said any of them were perfect. So when you
yeah,
serve in a public seat, you deal with being scrutinized from so many people that no matter what you do, you're gonna be wrong.
right.
Well, it was great to see him, serve up there. So I made sure to go in there. And then Chuck, because Chuck helped me. I always say this, like Chuck helped me with going through the city council stuff. Like whenever I needed, he made it self accessible. And I know a lot of people don't like Chuck, but I like Chuck. You know what I
Hmm,
mean? Because again, he taught me a lot, and he was helpful to me, and he's very strategic. He's very smart, and I know Chuck means well. So I had to make sure I said, some good things to him, but then
hmm,
also to keep the focus on. We talk about Justice Ocello, and we talk about some of the changes that we want to see, and we talk about wanting to have these relationships with the police and having the community review board for the police, board appointments. The area events was in there, so if we can continue to show up to those meetings and talk about what our wants and our needs are, then we
hmm,
can get them. But I thought that it was very important for us to close out the year and make sure that we recognize those individuals and not anybody who has been watching or anybody who has been following our movement or us making noise look at those individuals as though they're just horrible people because of what we've had been going through for the last 5 months. So
yeah.
it was important for us to recognize each and every person up there for their service in the community and for all the hard work that they've been doing up into this moment, and then even those of them who supported us behind the scenes.
Yeah, and there were a number of them, and I know where Mel's heart is as well, especially with we talked about him asking my cousin Charles, our cousin Charles, if he was allowed to use a picture of Cello when it comes down to being on the jerseys for Spoon's course for the league. I think that's awesome. That's something that is really cool that he brought up to show his his support as well. Um, January, we got some more meetings coming up in January. Up until then, what kind of parting words do you have to say to everybody as far as the temperature of everyone? I know everyone kind of really rejoiced on Friday, rightfully so, but we have to also keep in mind that there are family members, the immediate family members that are still grieving, still in pain. They're still without their loved one. This wasn't everything for them, and we have to make sure that we realize, when we're speaking and we're talking about all these different things, that we do keep the immediate family's feelings in consideration. Just your parting words on everything.
So I think like I don't want to say my part, but I think this is important to say, right?
Hmm,
So every single person who has hashtag justice for Cello or anybody who's had any involvement or any activity needs to make sure that they're keeping themselves safe,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like being aware of their surroundings, like making sure that you double check. Look in the back seat of your car.
Yeah.
When you go to the stop sign, like look twice. And it
Yeah.
sounds crazy, but like just understand that every single person who has been advocating for this and every single person who has been pushing for this is going to be watched. They're going to be under a microscope, and people are going to be knowing what you're doing, where you're at. Excuse me. So that means taking things a little not more seriously. That means if you were one of those people to drink and drive, you
Yeah.
can't do that anymore. If you're one of those people
Yeah.
that not put your seatbelt on, don't do that. Buckle up. Use your turning signals when you need to use your turning signals, and
Hmm.
understand that if you sense some things are going off, you're not crazy. And to make sure that you're staying in contact or connected with people. I mean, everybody I believe has somebody they share their location with. A lot of this may seem far fetched to some people, but head
Very
up,
important.
eyes open, head on the swivel.
Yep.
Make sure everybody is checking in with one another. Make sure we know how where friends are at and stuff like that, because everybody doesn't agree with um everybody doesn't agree with him being incarcerated. So
Hmm.
everybody's gonna have those you posting your story. We're gonna have new followers on social
Hmm.
media.
Yep.
We'll have new friends. There are gonna be new people trying to connect with you, new people trying to build with you. So I just want everybody to make sure that they're safe,
Hmm.
everybody to understand that this is not a time to get comfortable. This is not a time to celebrate. This is not a time to party.
Yeah.
This is a time to unite, to be strong, to be more diligent, and continue to identify, realize who our allies are, realize who our friends are, realize who are the people who want to tear us apart or who are going to try to tear us apart. Realize and understand who are the people who will build us up and will have our backs, because this right here is one step that got us closer to a lot more hate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's got us closer to justice, but it's also got us closer to a lot more people who are gonna look at us and be like, who do they think that they are? You know what I mean? And they may send a message to you to try to get you to talk about me, or
Yeah.
send a message to somebody else to try to get somebody to talk about somebody else. It's gonna be a lot of things flying around at people. So I just want everybody to be mindful of that and to think twice before you respond.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Think 3 times before you have a conversation with somebody who you do not know.
Yeah,
Think
man.
4 times before you respond to somebody in the comment section who is speaking against justice for Cello.
Right.
Be careful in the Erie News Now comment section.
Yeah.
And then people make fake pages and people make fake profiles just to troll and stuff like that. So we don't have to argue he's in jail. We
Yeah.
don't have to argue in the comment section. Like we can build one another up. We
Yep.
can stay safe. We can stay strong. We can communicate individually via cell phone, text message. You know what I mean, or
Hmm.
whatever it is. We don't have to put so much on social media about this specific situation. I mean, to be more careful and more mindful of where we are, where we're going, who we're surrounding ourselves with, and let's check on the people who we know we need to check on, and keep everybody safe, man. Because listen, the people my story, when I look in there, it's like it's so many non-followers now who be in there, and I be seeing so many different faces all around, and I welcome them with a smile, but I
Yeah.
don't know a lot of people, and I know now a lot of people know me, or at least they know my face.
Yeah.
And for the people who've been to those meetings, and the people who've been on the news, and the people who have been saying justice for Cello, like we all need to realize and understand that the reality of all of this is
Hmm.
people have paid attention to us enough to where there are some people who love the hell out of us,
Yep.
and there are some people who hate us so bad and they want to
Yep.
see us go away, or they want us to shut up,
Yep.
and they may not physically do it. They may hope for the best. I mean, hope for the worst, or set a trap, or get somebody else to do it. So yeah, that's my rant on that, man. Please, please,
Yeah.
please, please, please be safe. Understand that mixed messages will come. People are going to try to take you down, tear you apart, and we need the Erie community to keep building on the momentum of us uniting.
Yep. Yep. We have to make sure that we do not show division through this process. This is going to be a long process. And like we said, the DA can take her time on this one. He is arrested. He is in jail. He has no bail. He's safe. They're going to protect him in there. So let's let them do what they do. Due process is about to set in. We are on day 3 of the journey to a conviction, and we will be on this journey until that day occurs. Like DC just said, man, make sure you take care of yourself. Make sure that you block the trolls. There's going to be trolls that's looking at all on your social media. Block them. You don't even need to talk to them. They're trying to fester things up. Don't even worry about those folks, man. But just continue to be safe out there. This is the last podcast before Christmas. I want you all to think about Cello's children, Micaiah, Malachi, and Major. Think about them on Christmas Day. Please say a prayer for their family. This is a very tough time that they are without their father, and they need to be uplifted and know that we are with them all the way through this whole entire process. So we appreciate you all for listening to us tonight. For Deontay Cooley, I'm Craig Woodard. We'll talk to you next week.